Welcome, everyone, to another session of Music Matters with Ev. And I'm so pleased to have in the studio today David Bradford. Hello, David.
I am.
How are you?
All right. All right. Other
Good.
than having breaking one of the strings on my guitar and having to find another one. Good.
Very good. That's life. Breaking strings on the guitar. Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway, so we are here to find your perspective on what you've been doing and your ambitions, musical ambitions. So before we start, if you could just tell us who you are, who is David Bradford when it comes to music and musical output,
I think
etc.
a lot of people would like to know that question. I'm someone who taught myself guitar. Everyone's got a past, but I've had lots of support along the way. With a guy from used to play in the Winter Garden, who taught me how to sing and play. And I think to progress from that over, I don't know, 8 years, I guess.
Oh, that's good. Good going.
Yeah, I started off singing nursery rhymes to try and, which is it's a silly situation. But as things progressed, until recently, well, as you know, Ev, that well, so I'm told I progressed with my voice and discovered a lot about myself through singing lessons or Ev lessons.
Well, I must say to the audience right here and now that when I first heard you, I was impressed because you sound like you have a natural voice. And I know that you sing other genres, but to me, your voice was something that a lot of people aspire to and want to try and do. And you just kind of did it effortlessly. So that's what really focused me in on you when I first met you. So, absolutely. So, before, let's just put things into context. Before this year, before 2020, what were you doing with your music then? What were you doing singing? Where did you sing?
I was singing. I just done the odd gig really here and there, and if not, if it wasn't that, I had a bit of time out to be honest, and then I come back to singing and writing again through lockdown.
Hold
Um,
on, hold on, hold on. That's 2020. So we're going to come into that because just yeah, just want to. So when you say about the odd gig, is what kind of arrangements were those gigs? Was it booked gigs? Was it open mics? Was it
um,
festivals, parties?
it was all sorts really. I just turn up. I just turn up and end up playing and doing song after song, depending on my memory how good it is at the songs. But I've done sang a few times in Back Bar and Western, a few others, and obviously in my local pub, I was there quite a lot as I met you. Um, but I mean, like we've done the family. I think my worst time, I think there's about 300 people there, and my I couldn't even keep my legs still as but literally
That's
a mutual friend of us put me in the deep end when it was a family open day, and I was the first person to arrive, and didn't even know I was singing. So,
oh, thrown in at the deep end. Okay, so let's take it up to date now. This year has happened. How has that affected what you have been doing musically? And you mentioned about writing songs, but what has this year meant for you?
this year meant for me it's emotional. um, Emotional. It's been, to be honest, most people won't see it as a positive. It has been positive because it makes you question yourself and you learn stuff while you're in lockdown. You learn a lot about yourself. Me, I didn't really know I could write poetry. Then I started writing poetry. and then just move on to lots of different things, which is one of my poems will be featured on a website called Playing on My Mind, which is for mental health. But I struggled, as you know, and you were one of the people that supported me for it. But sat here now, and if I could go back, I'd probably do it all again to find out who I am in myself now. Right now, I've never been at my strongest, and it's all because of lockdown.
So this year, I'm liking the fact that you've brought out, which a lot of people have said, that although this year has been filled with a lot of so-called negativity and negative slant, but there has been a lot of positivity in various ways.
Yeah, it makes you question. I mean, I've wrote a couple of songs, 3 songs, I think, and one of them, when I put it up, I got 5,000 views, which I couldn't believe it. And I got quite a few likes. I don't know, maybe about 60 likes, but only one dislike. But I don't know, there was something in it, and for me, I feel like lockdowns are positive for everyone because it's making everyone appreciate, especially at Christmas time, what they've got and what they can do with their family, rather than luxuries of what we used to have. It makes you question everything, and I think that's a positive thing for everyone.
Brilliant. So what about the near future? What do you see for the near future? I mean, we're coming to the end of 2020. How does 2021 line up for you and your musical output?
It's going to be an interesting year. I'm meant to be getting back to the owner of the Palladium in Devon, so I'm meant to be doing a gig up there, but I haven't set any dates as of yet. But that will be coming up eventually. But who knows? Because we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but other than that, we have plans. Me and you have some plans. So this year, hopefully by June, maybe a little bit longer, have my first album ready to get up. That is my plan, and focus on that. But that I'm hoping.
Go on. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have it done by then, but we don't know. Really.
Okay, I just wanted to point out that you've got some backing singers amongst you. We can hear.
Yeah, that's my parrot. I'm afraid that if I go in the other room, my dog's going to start barking. So, and he's free today. So I didn't really want to. I do apologise.
No, it's okay. It's quite naturistic. It's giving us an outside feel. Excellent. And what about, you mentioned about your poetry and songs. Have you done much in the way of online stuff? Obviously, 2020 has prevented you performing live. Have you gone the online route?
I've tried doing an online route with my YouTube channel, which is just my name, David Bradford. But I've also a guy called Josh who messaged me when he seen my music because he wanted to start a new mental awareness thing for music. But he features a lot of my stuff on there, and there's a lot of other people's stuff. There's blogs, all sorts. That's on there. It's called playing on my mind.com, I think. There's lots of different stuff and different artists, local and further afield. But other than that, it's just been YouTube really and Facebook. It's hard to promote anything because there's so many different people promoting, and then you know what it's like. You go on like a Facebook group for promoting, and where so many people promoted, most of the time people don't even bother to watch because there's so many. It's hard to push it further to get to notice because there's so many people doing it.
So in terms of your musical output and the constraints of 2020, are you looking to increase the online awareness and presence during 2021? Is that one of the aims?
Yeah, because that's realistically the only way you're going to get noticed nowadays during the situation. I'm going to try my best to do it, but it's obviously with work and everything else, it's hard to find time in between. But it will,
Yeah.
whether it's going to be updates of different songs or writing songs, um, that's the only way I need to start being more consistent in doing it on my own Facebook page.
Yeah. So in terms of your musical output, are you part of a band? Are you just a solo singer-songwriter? Do you just play and sing, play guitar and sing? What's
Like,
your what's your usual output?
I used to just sing covers, and it used to be kind of easy songs, but nowadays it's like I enjoy writing my own
Mm.
kind of rocky biker songs called Hell Yeah, and then kind of some kind of country and western. You don't know what you're going to get from me. It could be some kind of 50s music with old Eddie Cochran, or anything up to a bit of Passenger or whatever. You never know. Um,
That's good. That's the variety that we can expect from you. And so let's talk a little bit more about songwriting because that is a subject which is I don't think it's taboo, but it's not as there as you would imagine. So, how do you approach the topic of the activity of songwriting?
uh,
Do you have a set format?
I don't have a set format. It's an interesting one. So I would mess about with my guitar till I find something I like. Um, and then I would kind of write the song, what I would want it about. And I'd kind of look at what I've written and keep on um, playing the tune what I like until I pick up some words to start it off. And once I start it off, I'm on.
Okay.
Then Um,
Good.
or I'll just be messing about one day and then I'll say something silly like another song, that Hell Yeah song, and then it all kind of fell into place, and then the song was built around the chorus.
Mm,
So it's everyone's got like I've got a few friends who will just listen to a backing track and spend hours listening and then start building. But like it's the same principle. Once you've started and you know what direction you're going, everything else follows. But it's just starting. It's the hardest point.
mm,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. I just want to make a point about something. How are you interacting with us? What equipment are you using?
just a phone at the minute.
Excellent. And as we can see, the quality is very, very good. And when you recorded your songs and put them up on various websites, what equipment did you use?
Just my phone. I know editing. My songs. If you take the time out to have a look at my YouTube channel, you can go through my whole progression. So everything's on there from start to now, and you can see how different I've got in the time
Oh,
being. But nothing's edited, is it ever? What you see is what you get, really.
absolutely. And I think that this is what makes it pure and raw and honest. It's just as we see you now with your guitar and your vocals, and that's it. And to be honest, to be frank, rather, that's basically where it all should start. There's
Yeah,
a lot of there's a lot of build up and a lot of expectation and a lot of anxiety over the more technical, the more polished, the more finished, the more produced. But at the end of the day, if you were going to entertain people in their front room, that's all they would have, your voice and your guitar. And that's a very good place to start.
and it is, and it's a disappointment. If I in the future, if I went to go and do a gig and people expecting to hear this tone perfect, what does it even sound like? Anything like me when they use auto tune on their voice and all that, it's I would not be happy with myself. It's because like computers nowadays are so clever, you can edit so much. but then you lose that artist, the uniqueness between each artist, and
Yeah.
it's not
So
really properly done. Really, I don't think. I don't really think it's the right thing to do.
no. So my next point of the discussion is to ask you, what advice would you give to anyone thinking of following in your shoes and starting out? Because basically, you mentioned about the hope to have completed an album by midway next year, and that will be your first album of original material. So, what advice would you give to anyone who may be watching and thinking, do you know what? I've always wanted to become or do something more with my music or my songs. What advice would you give them?
Just to record it like I've done. Just record it on your phone and put it out there. Let's not edit it. It's not changed in any single way, because the only way you're going to know if people are going to like your singing or your style is by doing that. If you edit it and change it, auto tune it, and all that, that's not you singing. That's the computer doing it for you. And if you get a fans group on that basis, they're not going to stick by it with you in the long run when they start to hear you singing live. But just look up for like singing coaches or someone who does, and speak to them and look for some advice. That's what I've done. You know, I've got a good support network nowadays, which is a positive. And the stress of it is, look, at least I'm not going to lose any more air. So.
Very good, very good. All right, so let me just write down. I'm going to write down in the comments where people can find your material that you've put out already. Can you give us the details again?
Yeah, I have YouTube. It's just David Bradford.
So is it if they type in youtube.com/users/David Bradford.
Bradbury. Yeah, Bradford.
And I'm going to write.
It should come up. I can double check if you want. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Or if you just put David Bradford Iris cover, it'll come up straight away anyway.
Okay, I'm writing that in as well. David Iris cover. Okay, and you mentioned about the website where you put your poem up.
Yeah, that poem was meant to go up about 4 months ago, but it hasn't, because the guy who's running it's been moving house. So my other stuff's up there, and there's other people, so it's well worth having a look. And that's called playingonmymind.com. And it's they're on Facebook as well.
.com. Okay, and that's on Facebook. Playingonmymind.com. That's on Facebook. Okay.
But they also have a website, which is the same as well.
All right. Okay. And excellent. And if somebody put in David Bradford on Facebook, there's a load of David Bradford. Would your profile come up as well? Where people can get links to your stuff?
Yeah, my profile will be on there, and all my songs is on my profile when you scroll through. So you could look through Facebook to find what I've been up to.
Okay, excellent. And so the last question: if 2020 was a human being, what would you say to him or her?
We're allowed to choose a him and her nowadays, or is that being wrong? I prefer not to say. I would guess, right, with my weird sense of humour, if it was going to be a person, you would have to pick the Grinch, because no matter how naughty this year's been, still underneath it's been good for everyone, really. You know, it's good. There's a positive underneath it, whether you're willing to see it or not.
And that's very good testament to your outlook, David, because it's basically looking for the good, regardless of is you're faced with, trying to see the good in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and that's
Brilliant,
what I'm trying to do.
brilliant. And so before we go, is there anything else that you want to share with us before? Because I'm gonna give you an invite, but before I do that,
I don't know. Really, if you're gonna, I mean, I'm still at my early days, you know, where I've got, you're helping me do this first album, which is going to be an interesting journey. I'm sure there's plenty of things I'm going to learn, but just no matter how hard things are seeming, there's always someone struggling out there worse than you are. And just if you focus on what you've got now and what you can do with it, then everything else seems a lot better later on. If
oh,
that makes sense,
that's
you
very
know.
sound advice.
I mean, like as you know, I wake up at stupid times at night, and I have to write, which is weird. And it might sound weird, but I don't know. I know that's my way of coping. And sometimes, but you know, I don't. You're everyone's different. You
Mm.
just need to find your own path and follow it.
Excellent. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind coming back on in the future to let us into your progress with your project
Yeah,
and other things. If you've done any more performances, if you've written any more songs that you want to showcase or let people know what else is happening for you musically, then we'd like to invite you back, get more input, get some more awareness on what you're doing.
yeah, of course, not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That's David Bradford, everyone. And that's it for another session of Music Matters with Ev. And until next time, take care. And I need to say at this particular moment of the year, I hope that everyone enjoys the festive period. And we look forward to being able to do all this again in 2021. I don't think I've got another interview lined up this year, but who knows? But we look forward to the next one. And thanks again, David. And
Yeah,
we'll see you soon. Take care.
everyone. Merry Christmas.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.